I was a bombardier in the Air Force in World War II. Well, you sit in the nose of the B-17 and you drop the bombs when the pilot will fly over the target, and then at a certain time you drop your bombs. The lead bombardier, the one in the lead of the squadron, he drops his bombs, and generally we just drop our bombs when he dropped his. But we did have to calculate sometimes, and we had a little instrument there that we looked at. I didn't enjoy dropping bombs on people, You'd go through it over a city and you'd drop all these bombs, and it was kind of sad, to do something like that, to have to do it. I was shot down twice, once over Germany and once over Poland. But I crash landed in Poland. I didn't really get shot. I got hit and then we crash landed in Poland. And the other time I was shot down in Germany. Captured by the Luftwaffe. That's the German Air Force. They captured me. And then they took me to prison. And I spent 2 years in prison under Hitler. We were in prison there. 25,000 airmen, American airmen, was in prison with me. See, the Red Cross fed us once in a while. The rest of the time we didn't get anything to eat. Except, well, no, I shouldn't say that. The Germans would give us some potatoes once in a while. My mother had gotten a word from the government. See, the government thought when I was shot down, they thought I died. I got killed. So they sent a letter to her and said, your son has been killed in action. So they thought I was. And then she got word. My interrogating officer, who was a German officer, spoke English, very nice man. And he says, we'll send your mother a letter and tell her that you're a prisoner. He was a very nice guy. And then, but before we saw him, the guard took us to meet him, and we had to walk down an aisle, and there was stenographers this side and that side. And I had black hair then. Germans weren't used to black hair. And the girls were whistling at me. And I turned to the guard and I says, how about letting me off for the evening? He says, well, maybe. Yeah, they saw this black-haired chap coming in, 18 years old. I don't know, this is kind of funny. My grandmother woke up one morning and she said to my mother, who thought I was dead, she says, Bill isn't dead. And my mother says, well, how do you know? And she said, my grandmother said, I saw him last night. And he was in with a group of men. And I was sitting on a porch and I'm watching the men go by. And he left the group of men and he came to me and said, Ma, have you got any food? I'm hungry. She says, he's hungry, but he's alive. So that's what she saw, and she told that to my mother. And my mother still didn't kind of believe her. But this interrogating officer, this German, had sent a letter to the coast, New York, that I was alive, and then they would pick that up. People picked it up, Americans, and then they send her letters saying that your son is alive. And she got 28 letters to that effect. Yeah. Later on, Patton came in and broke through the fences and liberated us. It felt good, except we were a little angry at him because he didn't like you if you were taken prisoner. He wanted you to die in the battlefield. He was a real soldier. He wanted you, what are you doing, going to prison to camp? We had to feed you. Patton got up on his tank when he liberated us, and he said, "Men, your vacation is over." He said that. He says, "We're sending you to the South Pacific." And an interesting thing happened to me. The night before I went on a bombing run, I played poker with this group of men. We played poker, and I lost $28 to this Irish chap who had a sense of humor. And we were over the target, and his ship got hit, and he was going down in a flat spin. And he called me up on the intercom, and he said, "Nassif, count us. We're going to bail out and tell our folks we got out." That was over Germany. So, you know, bombs were flying all over, and watching him go down on a flat spin. And he says, "We're going to bail out now. And remember, you owe me $35. So later I get shot down, right? So I'm walking between two fences, and I hear this voice yell out, "Hey, Nassif, you bring my $35." I said, "You son of a bee. I thought you were dead." He said, "No, not till I get my $35. It was kind of very humorous. Was it worth it? Yeah. Yes. I think all our young men should have a little experience like that. I learned that life was important, and freedom was important, to be free, you know, and do what you like. Yeah, that's very important.
And we're proud to say thank you. Shields honors America's veterans. Learn more about our veterans at shields.com.